Hey guys, Jeremy here from School of Wok Covent Garden. It's Wok Wednesdays and this week it's Mantou, a type of steamed bao that is amazing for dipping into things like Singapore chili crab or your curries or just dipping into some sugar. Whatever you want, Mantou for this week. Mantou is basically like a northern Chinese steamed bao, and quite often it has almost sort of noodly shapes inside the actual bao dough. And so there's a little trick to make that. I'm going to show you that in just a second. So you're going to gradually add your warm water to your flour mix. Now this flour mix is from our bao kits, of course, so it rises quite quickly. So classically in Singapore, Mantou is kind of fried and on the side of Singapore chili crab, the national dish. And we've actually got a video for that as well, so check that video out. And the two go hand in hand. And at this point, you're going to knead your dough using the palm of your hands rather than your fingertips. You want this to be nice and soft, this dough. So really go for it. Don't be scared of your dough. And then you're going to start to knead that on the surface. Again, using the palm of your hand rather than the fingertips, because if you use your fingertips to sort of knead into your dough, the dough will just stick to your fingertips, not to itself. So you want to sort of push and roll, or push, stretch and roll your dough. You can see I'm really stretching that out and working that gluten. It's really important to do that to get a nice smooth finish on the bread. Getting more and more elastic as I go. This sort of process takes about 2 to 3 minutes. Or if you're really weak, 4 or 5 or 6 minutes. If you're super strong, maybe 30 seconds. Once you've got a smooth Play-Doh consistency, then you can just shape that into a nice round ball. And then pop that over the top. Wait for 10 minutes. If it's a cool day, maybe 15. A warm day, 5 or 6 minutes, and you'll be ready to go. So my bao dough has a good sort of 10, 15 minute rest. It's nice and airy and soft now. I'm going to make, or attempt to make, sort of mini or small mantou. So I'm going to roll this into a nice long cylinder first. And we're going to take sort of chunks of dough out. Similar sort of size. Whereas we'd usually have about 6 pieces. I want this to rise nicely, but be sort of picky in size. So 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. I've got 10 there. I'm going to make half of these into little round balls of dough. The rest is quite easy, so I'm just going to roll them out and not worry about them too much. This is for the outside. So what this is, sort of I'm going to cut dough noodles and oil them and put them into, or wrap them into another bit of pastry. This is another way of making your bao. At this point, with these extra bits of dough, I'm going to start to roll these out for the inside. You could, in theory, just piece them all together and cut them at the same time. So you can see here, I've got a sort of flattish 2 to 3 millimeter thick piece of dough that I'm going to cut into little noodle strips, like so. You probably have no idea what I'm doing right now, but it does make sense, and you'll see it when I start to roll and fold these. So the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to oil my noodles of dough here. And that will keep those bits of dough sort of slightly separated inside the wrap that I'm going to make in a second. Just make sure that the oil bastes around each piece of dough nicely. I'm really playing with the bao dough now. And if this isn't fun, I don't know what is. My oil dough ready to go. Sound like I'm rapping. And now we're gonna roll out these balls of dough so that they're sort of wide enough to fit my noodles of dough inside. I might not be able to fit all of them, let's see. So you sit some dough inside, roll that over, like so, and then just bring those sides in and just pinch that together so it sticks together. Once that's pinched together, you've got your cutesy little steamed bread with noodles inside. Okay. Well, I don't know why I did that. So I've got my mini pillows of bao, as Lee likes to call them. I'm going to pop them straight in. I do want to give them space because they will puff up nicely. I'm going to steam those as we would any other bao dough. 8 minutes, high heat, full steam ahead. So my bao's had its 8 minutes. You can see, whoa, I put the secret brains in there. Look at that, the extra bits of dough. And you can see what that oil around the dough does. And that's what's happening inside the bao dough. But they look really great, good size, they've risen well, look delicious. Now, if you had this with Singapore chili crab, usually it's then deep fried to finish. Whew, naughty. Right, slice into this. You should see the sort of noodles of dough that you can then use to dip into whatever you want. And you can see the nice sort of layers of dough inside, and that's what makes it so good to then dip into curry or sauce or that chili crab. So simple. Nice easy way or different way to use your bao dough. Mop up that sauce. So guys, if you like this recipe and you want to learn more, don't forget to subscribe to our channel.